This video was produced by the UCD Maths Support Centre in conjunction with the UCD Access Centre. Before viewing this video, please see video on Discussion of Statistics Survey Example. This video answers the question, how do we choose who we should use as survey participants in a survey sample? There are 4 methods that we'll be covering: simple random sampling, cluster sampling, quota sampling, and stratified sampling. Let's start with simple random sampling. The simplest way is at random. Each individual has equal chance to be selected for a survey. This could be done by pulling a name from a hat or using a random number generator on a computer. The next method is cluster sampling. In cluster sampling, we divide the population into similar groups or clusters. We then choose a cluster randomly, and every individual or item in the cluster is picked for the sample. Note that clusters are chosen so that they are similar to each other in size and makeup. The next type of sampling is quota sampling. In quota sampling, we know the background, the age, the gender, etc. of our population. We select a fixed number of individuals so that they represent the population. By this I mean, if our population is 40% male and 60% female, our sample should be 40% male and 60% female. Our sample fulfills the requirements or quota of the population. It is a commonly used method for market research. The next type of sampling is stratified sampling. In stratified sampling, we divide the population into different groups or strata based on some variable, for example, gender, where we have a strata made up of males and a strata or group made up of females. We then select items or individuals at random from each strata so that the number of individuals selected from each strata is proportional to the size of that strata. Let's work through an example of this. In a company, there are 800 full-time employees and 400 part-time employees. The company wants to carry out a survey to find out how long it takes on average an employee to travel to work. A sample of 180 is required. How many part-time and full-time employees should be included? In this question, the strata are part-time employees and full-time employees. The first thing we want to do is find out how many employees are in the company overall. So what we do is add the 800 full-time employees and the 400 part-time employees, and we get that the company has 1,200 employees. The next thing is to find out what proportion of the employees in the company are part-time. So we have 400 part-time employees and 1,200 employees overall. To find out how many of these should be in the sample, we multiply the proportion by the sample size, 180. And this will give us an answer of 60 part-time employees. Next thing we do is look at full-time employees. We have 800 full-time employees and 1,200 employees overall. So this is the proportion of employees that are full-time. If we multiply this by the sample size, 180, we get 120 full-time employees. So for this question and our stratified sampling, we should have 60 part-time employees surveyed and 120 full-time employees surveyed. In regards to all survey sampling, please note that randomization in sampling is important to reduce bias and obtain accurate results, or an accurate sample. Samples should also represent the population to reduce bias. This concludes the discussion on sampling methods.